I will always remember my mom as a bully slayer. She was viscerally drawn to underdogs, and they were enamored by her. When she believed in something, she fought for it. She didn't just support it, whether it was a person, a border collie, a presidential candidate. And of course, we've all been underdogs in our lives. In fact, my guess is that many of you are here today because at some point in your life, Brooke was fiercely loyal to you when the rest of the world made you feel like, well, like border collies at a state dinner. I'd like to tell you a story that I've just learned about Brooke, which I think embodies the quality that I'm trying to describe. Brooke and Strobe were invited by the President and the King of Saudi Arabia to travel to Saudi Arabia for a speech. And as the plane descended, the flight attendants got up, went through the rows, and handed to all the women in the group abayas, Saudi headscarves, my dad had to explain to me, which they were instructed to wear when they were in the presence of the king. Flash forward a few hours later, they're in a beautiful palace. All the men are seated in the main section and the women are seated to the side. A door opens and out walks a procession of all the American women wearing their abayas just as they were told. And then there's Brooke, whose abaya is over her arm. She proudly walked down and sat in her seat. The king gave his remarks, as did several other notable speakers that day. And when he was finished, he asked if there were any questions in the audience. My dad, of course, was saying, please, God, don't let her ask a question. He looks up, and she is about here, reaching to adjust the microphone. Your Highness, she says, thank you so very much for having us. We've had a wonderful trip, and we've met wonderful people, women especially. When will you appoint a woman as a member of your cabinet? It's a great story for a lot of reasons. First, if you wanted someone to take their place, to do as they were told, and to speak only when spoken to, you shouldn't invite my mom to your party. But much more importantly, my mom believed, though she was 5 feet tall and 100 pounds, that no one should ever be made to feel small. The world as she saw it is not an equitable one, and she was fiercely loyal to those who she felt hadn't gotten their fair shake. At the Credit Union National Association, she devoted several years of her life to expand equitable lending opportunities to low and mid-income Americans because she believed it was right for all Americans. In 1992, she left her family and her home and she hit the campaign trail because she believed in two of her friends as bully slayers of the highest order. During the last decade of her life, she devoted her energies largely to helping women. She garnered support from friends and foreign governments alike for AIDS prevention in Afghanistan, for microcredit projects in India, cultural heritage in war-torn Afghanistan. I think it's important to note that my mom knew she rocked the boat. She knew at times she made us all feel uncomfortable. She knew when she asked the King of Saudi Arabia when he would appoint a woman to her cabinet, that she would make the entire room feel uncomfortable, not to mention her hosts. But this was their problem, not hers. because she was right. And humanity moves forward because of bully slayers like my mom. When my mom got cancer, she faced the biggest bully of her life. Curiously, though, I never heard her once say what we all thought, which is that it was unfair she was dying. It was unfair that cancer had made her feel so small. I asked her about it once, and here's what she said to me. The fairness of death is the one issue I don't feel strongly about. It's above our pay grade, sweetheart. We've got more worldly battles to fight and to win. The last time my mom left the house, she did so because she got wind that her friends, Joanna and Stephen Breyer, would be receiving an award at the State Department from Secretary Clinton. She mustered the energy to get out of bed. She put on an Indian yellow sari. She looked beautiful. And with Strobe at her side, she and her guy went off for their last night on the town in support of their friends. My mom lived the last days of her life as she did every other, furiously making plans and supporting people who she was counting on to take care of her boys when she was gone. You've done just that by being here today. Strobe, Devin, and I thank you. And for the time being, you're out of the doghouse with Brooke.